Yo, 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 yo. Good afternoon. What's going down? What's popping? It's your dog. Tired of checking in. Let me turn this cell phone off real quick. How we doing today, man? Talk to you, dog. Let me know how everybody doing, how we feeling. Um, we're gonna call this a 30-minute break, so we're gonna get straight to the business. As you do come in, make sure to hit the like button for your dog, man. I do really appreciate that. So 30-minute break, you know, quickly explain it real quick. A lot of the content that we put on this channel is very long content. Typically a short video or live stream for us is typically going to be at the minimum 90 minutes. Sometimes they can extend well 4 or 5 hours. There have been some waffle houses on this page that have went 6 hours. So with that said, I'm going to try to incorporate some shorter content because I understand everybody's different. Not everybody really enjoys listening to live streams for 90 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. So I'm going to try to start doing shorter form content. And hey, 30-minute break, 30-minute break at your job, 30 minutes lunch break. If you need a 30-minute break from your old lady or your old man, you just need to walk around the neighborhood and listen to some Atlanta Falcons content related. Here you go. So we're gonna start trying to do a little shorter content, to kind of diversify things. And don't get it twisted. We still gonna be doing our long form content. Still gonna be doing the Waffle House. Waffle House is on and popping this Friday night, 11 p.m. Be there or be square, as we used to say. We got a lot to talk about. So yeah, man, let's get to it, man. Coach Raheem Morris, he did a press conference today, and he said some things that I would like to discuss and like to react to. So we're gonna talk about that also, and as I said, I'm gonna try my damnness to keep this video at about 30 minutes. And that way, for the people who prefer shorter type content, live streams, this gonna be for them. This gonna be for those. So I'm trying my best. Like now, I like to ramble, and I'm rambling right now. So let's pull up the press conference and get the show on the road. I see everybody in the chat. What's popping, chat? What's happening? Let's ring the bell for everybody in the chat. What's going down? So let's pull up this live stream press conference from Raheem Morris earlier today, and let's talk about it. We're going to actually react to it. Hold on, what we got going? All right, I had two things going at one time. I don't know how we did that, but we're going to pause that. Let's try that again. Hold on. Just a second. All right, so y'all give me just a moment. Let me pull up the press conference here, share it on the screen. Oh, that's what the thing was. I was sharing the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Let's pull this thing up here. And we're going to discuss it. We'll stop and we'll talk about certain things that he say. Mr. DJ, let's cut that music down, sir. All right, so let's go. Let's get to it. Let's go.
Can't talk until they give me a thumbs up.
And y'all let me know in the chat if y'all can hear the screen. Can y'all hear the screen?
He complains every day. You can't tell he's a lawyer.
Can y'all hear Coach Morris? Sometimes the sound don't work.
Listen, this guy complains about everything. What's up, Lynn? How you doing, man?
Let's pause that for just a second. Somebody just give me a sound check. Can y'all hear the screen share with Coach Morris? What's up, Keely? What's up, Lisa? Lisa say the volume is. I'm sorry, Keely say the volume is low. Let's see if I can turn it up some. I got my computer as loud as my volume will go. I'm actually gonna blame that on the Falcons, man. I know there's one thing about the Falcons press conferences, man. They mics be low as hell. I'm gonna blame that one on the mic, the Falcons mic. It can go up some more light sound. That's the loudest I can get it, y'all. My volume won't go up no more louder on my computer. Let me see. If it's too low to the point where y'all can't hear it at all, or it's a pain to try to listen, let me know.
Good day. Got my thumbs up, D-Led, so we can go. Um, Everything else is pretty much the same we talked the other day. Micah, obviously, the big injury coming out that day. We'll
Yeah.
see what just is as we move through the week. But everything else is pretty much status quo as that goes.
Yes, Coach, you talked about Matt Hennessy was added to the roster. Where does he fit in that center guard rotation at?
So Matt was have been flexed up the last 3 weeks. Obviously you get the maximum of 3 flexes with the guy, then you got to make a decision. Dalman's still down as our starting center. Noozle's been out there working for us. Matt Hennessy been put in that position to go out there and back up as a backup center. And you had to make that decision. We put him on a roster this week. We used that Michael Abernathy spot to put him up to get him ready to go in case we need him if anything would have happened. Quiet day. Josh, you got something?
How big or small are your adjustments when you're facing a team like a Seattle team you don't see very often versus a New Orleans or Tampa Bay, team you see often?
Well, I've kind of seen these guys a lot just being in their division, but it's not the adjustments. It's more so having a new coordinator in Grubbs that's there, obviously from college, and some of the stuff that he's done with Michael Penix when they had
What's
a lot
up,
of
King
success
Rich?
last year. So it's about what he's going to be and how much better he's going to get every single week. No different than like a Zac Robinson calling it for the first time.
I'm
in
sorry,
this
so
league.
low, y'all. I
It'll be
don't
the
know
same
what
thing
the
with
issue.
Grubbs calling for the first time. They got the growth mindset. You can continue to see they want to get better and better every single week. And the same thing on defense, having a new coordinator in Adam Durde. Obviously, we know a lot about Adam Durde, but being with Mike and the stuff they want to do on defense, as well as same thing on special teams with their coordinator, coming from Michigan, the Harbaugh background, having all those things, the development of those guys. So 3 new guys doing 3 different jobs. You're always going to have some type of development, some type of things you're going to have to make, some adjustments you're going to have to make in game.
Drake is having breakout year right now. What have you seen from him as far as the evolution from OTAs to training camp to now?
Like I said, when we met, he talked about wanting to take this leadership role in this serious type of demeanor. And he's done that right from the beginning. So right from OTA days, I can already feel the urgency and what he wanted to be. And his coach, Ike Hilliard, has done a great job with him, along with KJ and Chandler Witt, guys that are in that room and talking about how we want to detail the things that we want to do within our offense. So watching him evolve into an inside-outside player has been a lot of fun for us to just go out and do the process. And then to even watch him within the installs right now, be able to contribute and be able to talk about what he did or his memorization of the game plans that we had before and what this is like has been fun. Really, for me personally, watching the physicality in the run game that he's absolutely grown into, which you saw from afar, but when you see it up close in person, when you're playing it, that's been something that's been really impressive to me.
So pretty much, he right now, Coach Morris is speaking on the maturation and the progression of wide receiver Drake London, who through the first 6 games has got off to a damn good start in my opinion. I think Drake has been playing some damn good football. As a fan base, I think the most of us could agree that we all saw the potential in what Drake could possibly become if he had a capable quarterback. And in the offseason, we went and got him a capable quarterback. And now we're starting to see and reap the benefits of drafting Drake London at 8. We're starting to see what he really can be. There have been some criticism within a few. I won't say it's been a majority because I from my vantage point, it's not been a majority, but there has been some criticism or questions. Questions may be a more appropriate word to use on whether or not Drake London is a true number 1 wide receiver. Through the first 6 games, right now he has 38 receptions, which is currently 3rd in NFL in receptions. He has 428 receiving yards, which is currently 8th in the NFL in receiving yards. Receiving touchdowns, he has 4. He is tied for 5th right now in the NFL in receiving touchdowns, and I think he has 22 first downs. I'm looking at that from when I say first downs, that's coming off memory, and I think that's 2nd right now in the NFL as far as that goes. Feel free to fact check me on those first down stats also. But so far, hey man, Drake has got off to a pretty phenomenal start for the Falcons, especially when you consider the fact that there are a lot of other people that we have to get into the offense, incorporate into the offense. So it's good to see, Drake London start to blossom. And then you also hear Coach Morris talk about, what a key component he's been in the run game. And I'm sure y'all have noticed it as well, blocking for Bijan, blocking for Tyler, a willing blocker downfield. It reminds me of the days when you would see Julio and Muhammad Sanu downfield blocking for Tevin and Devontae. That's when everybody's locked in and we're working as a team, we're working as a unit. So I'm loving what I have seen from Drake London, and I definitely hope he can continue this pace and continue to get better because every week you're starting to see the talent that Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith, shout out to Arthur Smith, saw when they took him at 8. Let's continue.
What do you like about that physicality?
I mean, just that he's just a dog. When you send Drake in there to go get people, he goes and get them. And I was having a fun conversation with our staff the other day about, realistically, he's at the focal point of our run game about 90% of the time for the most part, being a Z, motion into it, inserting, doing some of the dirty work. But at the same time, he's at about 90% of our passing game, either one or two or at least three on just about most of our concepts. So you're talking about a guy that's getting a lot of high volume in both the run and the pass game, and he's going to be a busy young man a lot, right? So it's like, you know, how do you get ways to maybe rest him at times or maybe get him out there a little bit more to do some different things? So it's like um, he's done a nice job. I'm really proud of him.
All right, Coach Morris just said something very interesting there about Drake London. He said, with him being a Z, have y'all noticed that Drake London has been playing the Z a lot more this year? Lining up off the ball, going in motion, and again, we are starting to reap the benefits. I really think that as Drake continues to get better, Drake London can. I'm not saying he's gonna eventually one day be a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but I think when it all said and done, he has the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Drake London.
Yeah, Drake. Drake.
Yes, Drake. I did say Drake. I say I do think he has the potential to be top 5 wide receiver in this league. Drake London. I did
Yeah,
say
Drake. Drake.
Drake. So let's continue. Let's see what else we're saying.
You were in LA, and he was obviously at USC. Was he on your radar at all in college and then when he was in the league?
So funny, man. I do not like watching college football during the football season because I know I'm gonna have to watch a bunch of it in the off season.
I'm shocked to hear that. And I guess that's just Raheem Morris. I don't. I think that might be the first time I ever heard a NFL coach say they don't really like to watch college football during the season. I would think that would be um like a little bit part of the job. I mean, not a integral part of the job, but you're gonna be looking at these guys that you're gonna be drafting, soon to possibly come on your team. So I would think you kind of be tuning to college football, but I kind of get what he's saying. Keely says he's not a burner, but neither was Keyshawn Johnson or Michael Evans or a lot of big body receivers. No diddy. Yeah, and Michael Irvin, he kind of reminds me of a Michael Irvin prototype also. And that's how Irv was too. He wasn't a burner, but hey, he knew how to use his body and his technique to get himself open. And one thing you gotta love about Drake London, man, you put the ball in the air, Drake London gonna go fight for it. He gonna do his best to go get it.
And it's kind of nice to sit in your office and be shocked when everybody else is not. So I can't say I watch a whole lot of college football other than my buddies. So I will watch Texas this week. I will watch Penn State because of James Franklin. Obviously, I watch Georgia because I'm here in Georgia now, and like you got to be a Bulldog fan being here, and the people on our staff with Nick Jones, some of those people. But definitely not a great college football fan. But I did know who Drake was.
Me too, Rusty.
Obviously, because I was out there and got a chance to watch those guys locally, especially being on the time change and all that thing. They was always playing at night, so it was always fun to watch those guys.
On the Carolina win, you talked about Drake being quote unquote kind of like another offensive lineman. When you go back and you watch the film from that game, how much did that validate that?
It's been pretty much validated throughout our season. Watching him add on to the run game, be able to insert, do just different things at the point of attack. I mean, we got combinations with tackles. He's got combinations with tight ends. He's got a bunch of different things that he does. So like, he's really done a nice job in our run game, and he still has more. He still strives for more. He still strives to be a better all around player in every aspect of what we ask him to do. So I really fires you up.
Watching guys that you get a chance to watch Ulbrich and Jets Monday night.
You do. You turn it on. It's background noise. I got a chance to watch those guys.
Did you
I'm gonna fast forward past this a little bit. They ain't talking about Falcons football right now. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep this in at about 30 minutes.
Taking over mid-season and how you do things and how you got to go about it, and just being brutally honest. You guys can remember we were here together. I just kind of came out and spoke the truth, my version of it, at least, and tried to tell my staff that way, and we just did it that way. So it was really fun to go watch a guy go out there and orchestrate the whole deal and almost pull off a win.
was there like one game day nugget that you told him like this is going to surprise you? Don't let this.
Let's go to Falcons football right now.
Or doing what you need to get done when you're not doing it from the other perspective. So you just can't expect people to do those things. You kind of want to tell them, what your expectations are and what you need from them when you're doing some of these other different things. So like just being able to communicate that really clearly is just something I just told them. Just being able to think about it and take a second, take a deep breath, and be able to communicate that to the people that you need to communicate to.
And I appreciate everybody coming in the chat. If you'll do your dog a favor, smash that like button for your dog as well while you're in the chat watching. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Drake spoke in the interview yesterday. Said the biggest difference this year is playing more Z than he was.
Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't play an X last year is part of the reason.
Yeah, Drake. Drake.
Do some of those.
I think part of the original thought and the original reasons is giving him that Puka-like role that we had like in LA. Puka was a part of the Z, and then obviously those guys become interchangeable with some of the F position and some of those type of things. So like getting them inside, some of the things that you guys have mentioned before, having them on the outside, doing some of like Puka type roles that we showed in LA, that Zac Robinson.
And I think that's a good thing, put him in the Z role, let him go in motion, let him, like he's saying, like Keely just said, he's a big body receiver, let him go across the middle just as much as you line him up on the outside. He's great when it comes to contested catches, so not only can he give you an advantage of contested catches on the sideline, but also in the middle on some drag routes. So I think that's an excellent thing that Zac Robinson has incorporated with Drake London. Let him line up at Z, let him line up at X, put him all around the field. And we are really, seeing the results of that. So props to Zac Robinson for that, for incorporating that into the offense. And also with blocking also, because they'll send him in motion and then line him up on the same side as the tight end, and they're gonna run that outside zone on your ass, especially when they run it to the strong side with Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry. Shoot, that's still hard to stop.
Robinson is very familiar with, and some of the staff guys that came from there and all that type of stuff. So that was very intentional by our staff when we got here. That move was made pretty much right away. And then that just intel some of the things that we do in our run game, no different than, all those guys. Cooper Kupp has a lot of influence on the LA run game, so did Puka Nacua. And then obviously Drake has a lot of influence on our run game.
I've always understood those roles to be kind of guys that look more like Puka Nacua, just in terms of his kind of physical demeanor and his attributes that he has because of that. What makes Drake at his kind of size and stature so good at playing in that role?
I mean, Drake looks like a small forward man out there. So like he's a big man, and like when he plays and he gets down in those positions, like he's not afraid or show any signs of timidness to go in there and get whoever he needs to get. So like I feel really good about doing that. Mohamed Sanu is very similar to that we had here in the past. We've had other guys that we were able to do different roles with that stuff. Julio was at the point of attack a lot, but from a different perspective on how we did with him. But the closest here probably Roddy White was probably the best at it.
Shout out to my guy Roddy White.
But Mohamed Sanu definitely was one of the guys that did it.
Did you have Drake like watch Puka at all? Like, I'll make check this out.
I think you naturally do that when you come in with some different plays and you kind of showing cut-ups of
we got to get Drake in the Pro Bowl this season too. Through 6 games, to me, he definitely deserves it. I just hope he continues this pace.
Players, so they kind of watched a bunch of the Rams offense. Obviously, that's stuff that we put in from the Rams offense and things that we wanted to implement, that we wanted to carry over, along with the things that we wanted to add here and some of the things that we wanted to put in that they did really good here as well. Because you still have people in the building that were able to talk about some of those things, like a TJ Yates and Dwayne Ledford and all those things. So, all that stuff was a part of it.
What does Nate Landman being back add to the defense?
Nate Landman gives us like a sound behind the ball linebacker that absolutely can use run fits and use his hands at a high level, shed blocks, come off, make plays. Last week I believe he forced two forced fumbles, always around the ball. Made a heck of a play in that big time screenplay that we've seen scored just about by everybody in the National Football League. I think Komet scored at 9:30 in the morning in the London game on that same play, and Nate was able to flashback, make a big time play in the strike zone, and knock that ball out for us. So like you just talking about a high level ball thinker, high level above the neck player that does a lot of really good things for us.
Now, in my opinion, pound for pound, I think Nate Landman is the best linebacker on this team. That includes, of course, Troy Anderson. That includes, of course, Caden Ellis, and of course the rookie. Well, I won't speak on the rookie because he's on the rookie, but I think pound for pound, Nate Landman is our best linebacker. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most fast. He don't have the most speed on the team, like of course Troy, speed demon. He's not as athletic as Caden Ellis either, but he does. When you watch Nate play, he just gives you that traditional downhill linebacker feel. Like, look, I may only run a 4.8. I'm not that agile, but you know what? I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna stop the run. I have the instincts. I have the nuances of the position, and I'm gonna make plays for the team. And that's what I see from Nate Landman. I think pound for pound, he's the best linebacker on the team. He's only played, of course, 2 games. He went on injured reserve immediately after the Pittsburgh game. But for you guys who give PFF a little bit of credence, they do currently have him after 2 games with a 93.9 PFF grade. That is elite linebacker grade. And surprisingly, he has a 93.5 coverage grade from PFF also. That is another elite grade as well. And also, full transparency, as I will repeat, that is only after 2 games. So I am a fan of Nate Landman's game, but I do not expect him to finish the season with a plus 90 grade. But I'm always happy when he's on the field because I do think pound for pound, Nate Landman is the best linebacker on this team.
When he and Anderson are both healthy, do you have to game plan differently among their assets and their strengths?
No, I can't wait for him to get back. I like problems. Those are really good problems. We talked about in the beginning of the year, how do you play all three of those guys? And we kind of started doing some things and playing with packages and getting them in there in certain stops and making them really compete and get at a high level and be able to go out there and play. So when he gets back, that fires us up. I mean, JD's thrown himself into the mix. So the more things you can have for people.
But I like Coach Morris saying, "Hey, we make them compete when everybody healthy," and that's a good thing, man. Especially on a football team. Shoot, iron sharpens iron, man. You got somebody competing with playing time. You're gonna make sure that you're on your P's and Q's at all times because you don't have an opportunity to get lazy, to be lackadaisical because this guy that's in the locker room with you next to you could be taking your snaps from you. So that's only going to benefit this team at the linebacker position, in my opinion.
Well, the more opportunities you can provide for your guys and your players, the harder the guys go, the better practice is, the more competitive the nature is. We got a competitive deal just in our own personal department that you work in. You guys write, everybody's writing over there is awesome. And then I can't wait to read you guys' articles. I don't read anything, I'm just joking.
I know college and NFL are obviously different, but with Michael Penix's familiarity with Grubb, you kind of ask him, what is he like?
Okay, we're gonna go past this. They talking about Penix and his ex-coach, so let's go past that. Penix ain't playing, and that coach ain't on our staff, so let's go by that.
Kind of come into their own later in their careers, and as we
You said Gino and Kirk?
Yeah,
a little different,
but they
we'll go by that too.
35.
No, it's behind, whether it was LA, whether it's New York, prove that the more time you have at that position, the better you can be. And it's no different in the vision that we have with Kurt. When Kurt had the individual path of Gino and Kirk, but definitely the comparisons of people being able to play longer at the quarterback position because of how we protect the position and the fact that it is an above the neck position 100% of the way for a very long time. Now, we just got to have some people with some very great athletic traits that can go do it as a young age, but these guys that are pocket passers, Joe Flacco's out there just balling. So I don't know how old Joe Flacco, he's got to be my age. So, and he's doing phenomenal and had been. And for a long time. So like the position definitely got a little bit longer shelf life.
You get Kirk's voice memos? Are you on the voice memo list?
Kurt will just send me a text or he'll just call me.
Okay,
You know,
get the voice memo.
no voice memos. I can't take the voice memo. I couldn't do the voice memos with Kurt. He just calls me, shoots me a text, whatever the case may be, whatever he needs, and or I'll pop by his meeting rooms and things of that nature, and we'll kind of just communicate. I'm kind of an in-person guy. I got my door open all the time. These guys can tell you. I can't do that stuff.
How much does Charlie want?
You with Raheem Morris as the head coach, of course I know he was the interim head coach at one point in time, but now like through these 6 games and seeing how when we hire him, seeing how other NFL players reacted to the hire that are not Atlanta Falcons players, current players and past players, seeing how players react to him during the games and interact with him, I guess is a better word to say, during the games, seeing how he interacts and talks about his relationship with his players. Like right here, for example, when he says, no, Kurt would just text me or he'll call me, you kind of see like what everybody was saying about Raheem. He's just such a likable guy. And not likable to the point where he's just a pushover and the players can just run over him and do what they want to, but very personable, very relatable. And I think that was some of what Arthur Smith was missing as a head coach. And now he is a offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. And maybe I do see Arthur Smith's, years down the line get another head coaching job, just like Dan Quinn did. And maybe he'll learn from that on his second head coaching gig. And I know y'all gonna throw tomatoes at me, but I don't think Arthur Smith is a bad play caller at all. I don't even think he's a bad coach at all. And I'll leave it at that.
Or help what you guys are trying to do offensively?
He should be offended that I didn't call him the 6th offensive lineman, because Charlie is certainly definitely
Tight end Charlie Warner.
The juice and the energy and a lot of the emotional push behind our run game, and he just has such a pride in it. And the one thing I had to call my buddy Kyle Shanahan about, I was like, I tell you what, man, these dudes that we get from San Fran know how to practice, and I just messed up because he told me not to tell anybody, but he has definitely brought that to our team. He's brought an edge. He's brought an energy. He's brought a bunch of different stuff to us that we love on game day and we love within the building every single day. And what Charlie is. Aside
from the edge and energy, I mean, he's a guy who can take a chip block and then get to the next level. I mean, what he's doing when you're watching the film back, are you just more and more impressed every Sunday?
To watch that play, you probably are just talking about, when he comes across and is able to, have a combination with a lineman and then go to the next level. And to be able to sticky to get on to the next level guy and provide those kind of holes for Tyler or Bijan is absolutely outstanding. So like that's the energy and the edge you talk about though, because none of that stuff requires a bunch of talent. That just requires a bunch of effort.
Oh, he said something key, and he wasn't taking a shot at Charlie, but he said none of that stuff requires a bunch of talent, but a bunch of effort. And that's one thing about blocking. Like blocking is a dirty job, but you gotta want to block. You gotta want to block. You're not gonna get a lot of accolades about blocking. It ain't gonna show up in the stat sheet, but it's all about effort. And that jumped out when he said that to me, because I totally agree.
Talk to you about how hopes you're in that one, but also maybe you're in another one before that. Just what does it mean to have the Super Bowl coming back to the city? And does it put a lot of pressure on you though, trying to get into that one?
Whatever Arthur said, I agree with.
Smart man. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It seemed to me like, in other words, I don't know what Arthur Blank said, but whatever he said, I agree with him. He signed the check.
Hey, Coach, can you speak about Larry Frazier and his impact on the?
All right, let's go past this. Larry Frazier. Let's go to another question. I'm trying to keep it short, y'all.
A chance to interview him in Minnesota to be his defensive coordinator.
Them to kind of develop here through the team. Important. Been like the
his accomplished career.
Yeah, Coach. What's it been like the coordinate offensive coordinator and quarterback relationship so important to a team? And what's it been like
I totally agree, Keelan.
watching them two kind of develop here through the off season, first part of the season here?
It's been great for me just having the a front row seat of watching Zach develop into what he's doing and having really a chance to go implement how he believes and how he thinks. And also, really, when you get put in those positions, it's really to be able to teach your coaches and to be able to show your coaches how you think. And I think those combination of those things are all a part of about being a leader. And then also having a chance to be a young coach and having a bunch of ideas, but being able to listen to other people within that same framework to be able to go implement some of the things that we can all do together. So I really love the maturation of, say, Zac Robinson from a play caller standpoint. I hate to say as a coach because he's been doing it such a while, but and doing such a great job, but as a play caller, because obviously this is his first year, but to really watch him to now mesh with Kurt and for those guys to be able to go through the little small differences that they've had within the systems that they've been in and to work through the frameworks of all the things that you got to work with from the offensive standpoint with cadence and lining up and different ideas and thoughts has really gone well for us. And you really see us, like I keep mentioning, this growth mindset every single week to get better. And that is fun to be around.
Speaking on his offensive coordinator, Zac Robinson, and his progression from week 1 through week 6. Week 1, Atlanta Falcons football offensively, boy, I think we all was nervous and we all was questioning and we all had criticism about the offense because, let's be honest. And granted, that was Pittsburgh, but quite honestly, the offense looked bad. It looked unprepared. But these last, I would say maybe 3 to 4 weeks, they have been getting progressively better. And we are seeing Zac Robinson do a much, 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 much better job. Believe it or not, currently the Atlanta Falcons are ranked 8th in the NFL. Or is that 9? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we are ranked 8th right now in total offense. Believe it or not, we are scoring right now 24.8 points game. 24.8 points per game. Right now in rushing, I think we're probably ranked about 21st in the NFL in rushing. I have no doubt in my mind that will start to increase. We're going to get the running game back going like we've had it in previous years, and we saw evidence of that the Panthers game. And passing yards per game, we're currently ranked, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're ranked right now 6th in the NFL in passing. So I would say through 6 games, I would say Zac Robinson has done a good job. I would give him a B, a good job, and he should continue to get better.
So you are watching Georgia and Texas this Saturday?
No doubt. I will be watching that one.
Okay.
Bijan, Zoe.
All right, so he's going to speak about the Georgia-Texas game. Go Dogs. So we won't dwell into that. Like I say, I'm really focused on trying to keep this as short as possible. That's why we call it a 30-minute break. There's something for the people who don't necessarily like to watch the long live streams. This is something you can just digest in a short period of time. So we're going to end it at that. Shout out to James in the chat. Shout out to my dog, C-Dub in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all, like I said, 30-minute break. So I'm going to try my best to start to get these 30 minutes. So I went over by about 6 minutes. So hopefully next week I can get it right at 30 minutes. But I want to thank everybody who came through in the chat. Appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all this Friday, 11 p.m. on the Waffle House. Peace.